Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here. Thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. It is Wednesday the 13th of February. If you haven't got your Valentine's cards and flowers and chocolates, get them ready. Oh, I nearly forgot. I hope my wife isn't going to watch this. Anyway, thanks again for watching. It helps, doesn't it, actually, if I put a microphone in front of me. There we go. Now you can probably hear me a lot better. Yeah, thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. Remember, we kept free of charge by the adverts you see around the screen. So, when you come back and use the site, use the adverts and use the charts, that's what keeps us free of charge. So thank you for doing that. Okay, getting some consistent signals now from some of the models, and I think we can kind of see where we're going with things. What happens sometimes with the model forecaster is that models get into a state where they kind of get locked into a pattern, and I think they're locked into a cold pattern at the moment, or at least some of them are. Others aren't, and part of the trick of forecasting is to spot when that happens and try and guesstimate when we're going to break away from that kind of locked in pattern. Now I'm starting to see some signs of that at the moment, and I think my forecast of going cool and unsettled for that last part of February, early part of March, is probably going to hold about right, or at least 50% right in terms of it being cool. I'm not sure though it's going to be that unsettled. I think high pressure could well pull through or dominate the pattern at least, and so perhaps not as unsettled as I thought it may well be. I'll show you the details now though. So this is the 7 to 10 day mean of the 500 millibar flow. We've got the ECMWF on the left here, the GFS model on the right, and it shows us the anomalies of that flow. So where the redder colours are, such as through here, that means we've got above normal heights. Where the bluer colours are, such as here, that means we have below normal heights. And this chart goes from next Wednesday through to Saturday the 23rd. And ECMWF again making a bigger play of this blocking area high pressure across northern Canada, going through Greenland and just north of the UK. GFS, look, tends to build the ridge towards the east of the UK, makes far less of it across here. Now actually I'm leaning into GFS mode because this is going to where I thought it would be. Jet stream coming across the Atlantic, look, kind of gets split a little bit here, but what that would do is pump this air up north here, build this ridge back across the top. That then in turns build high pressure up here. We get more of a northeasterly flow, but what happens crucially is it allows the jet to come a little bit back further northwards and brings more unsettled weather across the southern part of the UK. That's what I was picking up really from the beginning part of January from various different signals, including the MJO, which I've been showing you. However, that's by no means a universally accepted solution, although ECMWF, look, does still have the jet stream, quite a strong feature, coming across the Atlantic. So the ideas are there. I think the critical factor is how unsettled is it? Is it wet and cool, or is it cool and dry? Notice I'm not saying cold. I don't think cold is going to be particularly a feature, although there will be some cold nights and there will be some cold days. I just think daytime temperatures are going to be 2 or 3 degrees below normal for the time of year. And if we just pick up on what the ensemble model does, let's just show you how this develops, and we'll come back to the shorter term period in a wee while. But this is the 18th, so this is when? This is next Monday the 18th. As we go through, you notice on the GFS, look, it's still got this ridge that it's built in through here, but it's bringing a far more unsettled southwesterly flow through most of the country. But then what happens is we find high pressure building out here towards the east. That starts to bring in a cooler northeasterly flow. You see the ridge going over the top there, so it does tend to build high pressure back in and makes it a dominant feature, look, really right the way through to the end of the month and into the beginning part of March. But here's the jet stream kind of coming through here, then it fades away, a bit goes north, a bit goes south down here. Excuse me. And yeah, it's kind of dominates on the dry side with a high built out towards the east here, which is why I sort of think that my forecast may be half right in it going cooler, but it probably isn't right in terms of the unsettled parts across the southern part of the UK. Drier seems to be the optimum word. And if we take a look at the city temperature graph, this is the forecast graph for London. You see this rise in temperature that takes place into the early part of next week, look, and then as that high builds in and things cool off, so temperatures come off a little bit down here, but notice very little rainfall. Those are the green bars here, so you notice how generally dry it is going to be. There's the chart for Glasgow, very similar, just not quite so warm in the early stages. Manchester, and there's Birmingham, so a similar sort of pattern across the piece. Incidentally, you get those charts if you go to WeatherWeb. Go to the top of the page here, click on charts, down the left hand side under GFS Ensemble, you'll see them in there. So you see this idea of it being cool, but just a big question mark over how unsettled. Probably I've got to lean towards this idea now of it probably being drier overall. And interesting just to see where the Canadian takes us as well. This is the Canadian chart. There's next Monday, look, and very sort of similar flow, although what the Canadian tries to do is make it much more unsettled from around the 21st, 22nd, look, and then eventually what it does is it builds back in this ridge out towards the east. It brings us cooler northerly flow before that ridge then collapses eastwards, and I think what would then happen is we find the ridge building here, high pressure coming in here, and more of a south to southeasterly flow with a trough stuck out here, so we get more of a southerly flow here, but essentially the same solution as the GFS Ensemble was going for. So I think this idea of drier cooler probably wins the day overall. Let's come back to the short term though. We've got some weather out there just at the moment, and that is rain and snow that's spreading through the country. Now today I wanted to use the Met Office charts because they're as good as any today. Again, you get these from the website just at the top of the page, and then you'll be able to view these charts. So let's just wait for that to load up. There we go. This is the chart for tomorrow. What we've got is a front that's moving eastwards at the moment. This is the occluded front that clears east during the course of tomorrow, probably sort of late morning, early afternoon before it clears the southeast, and then we get a west and northwesterly flow coming in, bringing cooler conditions. Bringing milder conditions, but some showers as well. Across western Scotland, pretty windy here. That front bringing in some outbreaks of rain. And then we find as we go forward sort of 12 hours, let's come forward to 48 hours. In fact, no, let's come forward to 60 hours. So this is the chart for Friday. See, ridge of high pressure is in. Friday looks decent sort of day, but we have got this front that's coming in from the west, bringing cloud and some drizzle through Ireland. I think for many places, though, it's dry, just a few showers affecting the northern parts of Scotland. And then into Saturday, well, here's our high building out towards the east. Look, weak warm front coming through, this flow coming in from the south. So generally it's going to be a fairly dull day with that front coming in, particularly across Scotland, across Wales, across Ireland, across southwest England with some drizzle at times. But central and eastern areas probably not faring too bad. I think drier here, although temperature wise probably near normal, sort of 7s and 8s, but certainly much milder than normal out towards the west. And then really what we need to focus on is what happens after that, because how does the weather break down from sort of Saturday onwards? This is the chart for and let's just get back to Sunday. There we go. That's the chart for Sunday. Look, still got cloud and some bits of drizzle affecting these western coasts. Eastern areas are drier and much brighter. And then into Monday of next week, ridge of high pressure builds in. We're generally dry by then, but this front kind of trying to get into the west during that period, during that early part of next week. But then we pick up on the chart as we saw from the Ensemble. Let's just get back to the 19th, which is this one here, where we get in that southwesterly flow come in, brings outbreaks of rain to more western and northern areas during next week, but many central and eastern areas are going to be dry with the high pressure tending to come in. Although I still think we need to watch 21st, 22nd, 23rd, that sort of period, for the potential for some rain coming through all parts of the country. So hopefully that wasn't too wittering for you. Thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. As always, we're kept free of charge by the adverts you're seeing around the screen here, and by you coming back and viewing the site and viewing the adverts. That's what keeps us free of charge. So thank you for doing that, and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.